back to Demigod Debut. I'm Mal, Tunnel of Love appreciator and longtime Percy Jackson fan.
And I'm Julie, Percy Jackson newbie and Aries simp.
Oh no.
The actor. I don't know who he is, but
Adam Copeland?
he's giving Hades from Hades Town vibe. Like, I could see him playing that.
I should have seen this coming. I really should have.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a podcast about Julie discovering Aries for the first time. And also watching episode 5 of the Percy Jackson TV show. And we are joined by Emily of Monster Donut once again. Hello, Emily.
Hello. Thrilled to be here.
Is this 3 or 4 times that you've been here now?
I don't know.
It's been several.
Several.
You also called this episode forever ago. You were like, whenever you do the show, I want episode 5. Oh, hello. We are also joined by Emily's cat, who has come to say hello.
Missy Moo. Oh my god. I'm here. Nope. Madam?
The cat is being removed.
So cute, though.
Yes, so you, many weeks ago, were like, when you talk about episode 5, I want to come. So here you are.
Yes. Episode 5 is my favorite episode of season 1.
You know, I think I would have said that until this rewatch, but episode 4 really got me last week, so...
I like them all, but I think 5 for me really just, like, there's so much about it I love. I love the Grover Aries scene, and I love the cave puzzle, as we've called it on our podcast.
Yes. And I didn't understand what you were talking about then, and I probably will not understand what you're talking about again this time, but I'm excited to learn something.
Basically, Phoebe and I spent way too long trying to figure out all the frescoes on the walls of Hephaestus's lair.
I mean, as you should.
And we solved it.
Because you engage with media in a normal way.
Exactly. They put it in the background, and it's my puzzle.
I mean, I'm sure that was their intention.
Listen, I have since talked to one of the people who was responsible for the design of a lot of the stuff in the cave, and they said it was. So...
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. They were like, we did this specifically for Emily.
Yes. Well, it wasn't for me, but...
But yes, it was for those like you.
At the very least, I know the people who work on this show, they put their all into everything, and so they very much want people looking.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, that makes sense. So, God, what am I even talking about? It's fine. I'm fine. This is fine. So the arch is on fire. That's kind of our opening shot here, just to remind us what was going on previously. Then we get the part of this episode that I feel the most normal about, and that is the Fates appearing to Annabeth instead of appearing to Percy the way that they do in the book. 'Cause, like, the lore implications here are incredible to me. Because my own personal thoughts are that the prophecy is just as much, if not more, about Annabeth than it is about Percy. Like, I feel like the only part of the prophecy that actually relates to Percy at all is the bit about a half-blood of the eldest god shall reach 16. Like, that's just giving us a timeline. It actually has nothing to do with him at all. And then, like, the choice and all that is actually Annabeth. And so I feel like the Fates appearing to her instead of to Percy kind of confirms that like, this is actually about her and Luke more than it is about Percy and Luke. And, like, Percy also has a role to play, but, like, it's about Annabeth.
Yeah.
And I think with what happened at the Arch, I think we see the start of her loyalties shifting away from Luke kind of to Percy. And maybe she's not completely Team Percy yet, but, like, this is the start.
I agree. That was one of my first takeaways, like, when I first watched that, and I thought that was great. Although, when Phoebe and I were talking about it, there was a secondary theory, which was, it's also the moment Percy breathes underwater.
Oh.
But, like, they appeared to Annabeth, not to Percy. I don't know. I'm just picturing, like, they're setting up, like, such a good callback moment, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, season 5, that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah. Because I feel like in the book, you know, the Fates have to appear to Percy because he's the one telling us this story, and so it has to be about him. But here, we can have them appear to Annabeth, and it can deepen the story. and we as the audience can see it happen and forget about it the same way we do in the book. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, Annabeth tells us in season 5, like, hey, this is a thing that happened.
Do we think the string means the same? It's the same string? Like, what it means is the same?
That, like, it's Luke's?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't consider that it wouldn't be. Do you think it's not?
No, I'm just asking questions.
Oh, okay. No, I think it's still Luke. It almost feels like we've given Annabeth the power to choose between Percy and Luke in this moment, and
I'm here for it.
I mean, I guess it's not even really a conscious choice, but man, what a crazy amount of power to have as a 12-year-old girl.
It feels right to me though. Like, that is, like you said, kind of what that like scene is about in The Last Olympian.
Yeah. I want it to be more about Annabeth because I think it's kind of funny to have Percy like agonize over this prophecy, and then it's like not even about him at all. Love that.
No, it's good.
Which like you kind of get in the book as well, because he's like, a hero's soul is going to be reaped or whatever, and then it ends up like not being his soul at all.
Mm-hmm.
So even more of that.
Also, I'm hoping for more Cursed Blade screen time coming up.
Yes.
The next few seasons.
Cursed Blade. Cursed Blade. I mean, they're all cursed blades, I feel like. Everybody's got a cursed blade. It's also funny that Grover is worried about the police here. Like, Annabeth is looking at the fates, Grover's looking at the police, and she's like, somebody's about to die and you're worried about the cops? And I want to know about her insistence that Percy is fine. Because did they see the water spout catch him? Because I would imagine there's not windows in the arch. So how much time passed between them leaving and him actually falling? Like, did they see all that happen, or is she just like blindly saying like, no, he's okay?
I mean, they would have all been freaking out about a body, presumably, if he wasn't okay.
Like, the civilians at the bottom would be...
Yeah, like, no one went splat. I feel like if someone had gone splat...
But, like, my question is, would they even have seen him fall off the arch? Because the fight feels like it happens really, really fast. And they would have to get back in the elevator and go down. Like, I wonder how long the elevators to the top of the arch take.
Well, do you think they're working? Because didn't they pull a fire alarm? Like, are they running down all those stairs?
That's also a great question. Okay, the ride up is apparently 4 minutes and the ride down is 3 minutes. So, if they were able to get right into an elevator, but then if they were taking the stairs, like, how long would it take you to get... I don't know. There's probably not an actual answer to this question, but...
They also might have asked around, be like, did anyone see anything? And someone might have been like, some water just grabbed a dude.
But the mist... Would the mist have hidden that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, surely they know that he ends up in the river somehow, because they know to, like, look in the river. Like, Annabeth and Grover go to the river to meet him. So, like, they have to know somehow. I just want to, like, how do they know? Did they watch this happen?
I think it's either window, the fact that there's no body.
Just putting together the facts.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we do find him. He is drenched, which, I don't know, the decision to let him get wet is very funny to me. And then we get a very long hug between Percy and Annabeth. I just know that she is getting so wet from this hug. And I'm also a little mad that they don't let Grover hug him. Let the bros hug.
Yeah, they should.
They never hug in the book either. It's always like, I gave Grover a fist bump or whatever. And it's like, let them hug.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have much to comment on in the Perciveth realm. I'm just like, yeah.
And Julie probably only wants to talk about Ares.
I'm not like obsessed. I'm just like, that's a good looking man right there.
He's a professional wrestler. Fun fact.
Yes. It's Adam Copeland. Yeah. His stage name his wrestler name is Edge.
That kind of ruins it for me a little bit, gotta be honest.
The fact that he's a wrestler or the name?
Yeah. Well, both, really. I love that.
I don't know. I like that this feels like a real turning point in all of their in like the Percy Annabeth relationship, especially, and like all of their relationships together.
It does. Like, we sort of became friends at Medusa, but now we're like actually friends, and we are working together. My next bullet point also just says, these cops suck. Because, like, let's be honest, these cops are not doing a very good job. They're having this whole conversation, I would assume, not very far from the arch.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, the cops are going to be after us. Well, what are they doing right now?
I don't know.
They're nowhere to be found. Why are they?
You've seen the cops on the subway.
I mean, yes.
They don't do anything.
And then, like, they just start walking down the street. Like, these cops should be able to catch these kids easy, and yet they don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are they looking for exactly? Maybe they're not looking for a kid. Maybe they're looking for, like...
Maybe I would assume that the cops from the train, at least, could give a description of these kids. Anyway, the cops are useless, and that's fine. Well, that's not fine, but, like, I don't know. It's just funny to me that they're like, the cops are gonna be after us, and then it's like, nothing that you're doing lends itself to not being found by the cops, and yet they do not find you.
Honestly, though, I think that's the thing, though. It's like, if you're sneaking around, you look more suspicious. So the fact that they're just, like, walking, fishing their friend out of the river.
You don't think just walking down the street is suspicious? If I was anywhere near there and I just, like, drove down the street and I saw these 3 children walking on the street, I'd be like, what are they doing? What are they up to? Where are their parents?
I don't know. My friends and I used to, like... It wasn't, like, on a highway or anything, but we would, like, walk down. We'd be walking around a lot before we could drive when we were teenagers. I don't know.
Maybe I just had a boring childhood.
Cops are not the smartest of the bunch, and so I don't think it's surprising that they are not on the ball. They are legally required to have, like, you cannot become a police officer if your IQ is too high. They can discriminate against you for having too high of an IQ.
Fun! Love that fact.
So they're dumb.
So yeah, that makes sense. It's like you can't even catch 3 children who aren't getting on a... Never mind. I don't want to talk about the cops anymore. So, walking down the street, you know, Percy finally clocks into the fact that this quest is perhaps more than just going to confront Hades, because for the first time he's actually considering the finding the lightning bolt part of the quest because his dad saved him. The way that he's like, I didn't know that my dad would save me. The bar is truly in hell, because why would a parent not? Like, the fact that this is so groundbreaking is so sad, but I guess we just saw, like, Athena last episode totally... I don't even know what word I want to use here.
Turning on Annabeth?
Because I keep being like, she betrayed Annabeth, but it's like...
Kind of.
I don't know. Betray doesn't feel like the right word. I don't know. Athena kind of, like, abandoned Annabeth in her time of need last episode. And so the fact that Poseidon didn't is, like, wild to him. But, like, really, it shouldn't be. Because, like, that's just good parenting.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, he's expecting, like, literally nothing. Because I think the first time he heard from his dad was when he got claimed.
Yeah. Very true.
But I do think it's also, maybe that's the thing of, like, dramatically speaking, the fact that Annabeth was abandoned by her mom when she needed her, and he, like, immediately afterwards was, like, saved by his dad when he wasn't expecting it. It kind of creates this dramatic situation where it's like the contrast between them makes the help feel a lot more meaningful, and it also probably makes it feel a lot stronger.
Yeah, that's true. And I can't judge, because I feel like I would be the exact same way. I would be like, oh, my dad did one nice thing for me. Okay. I guess I like my dad now.
Yeah.
So, I can't judge.
It's like, it wasn't just, like, one nice thing. It was kind of crazy, like, what he did.
It was a very big thing.
It was a very big one nice thing, you know?
It was. Just, I don't know, fascinating parental relationships here. And then I just have to note the 12-year-old behavior. The way that he looks at Annabeth and is like, are you being weird because we hugged? We said we weren't going to be weird anymore. Like, buddy, just because you haven't stopped thinking about the hug doesn't mean that she is also still thinking about the hug.
Meanwhile, Grover's there like, I didn't get a hug.
Exactly. Hug Grover. And, you know, she says that she saw the fates cut a string, which means one of them is going to die. Could be, or it could be a secret third option and be someone else who's not one of them. I guess secret fourth option, if we count Grover in there. And then we have Ares rolling up on his motorcycle. And their little peekaboo, like, over the concrete barrier is or was, I can't remember if I deactivated our Twitter account or if it still exists, but it is/was our like header photo on Twitter, them peekabooing over the concrete thing on the side of the road, because it's so cute. They're so precious.
There's a lot of good like comedy shots in this one.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's like, hey, come meet me at this diner, and then he just takes off on his bike and makes them walk, and he's like, I'm not gonna wait for you. Like, you're a god. You could make that bike into a minivan. You could take them with you.
Get a little sidecar, like a big sidecar.
Yeah. In the musical, they all get on the bike with Ares.
I don't know, it's kind of a power move, right? Just being like,
It absolutely is a power move, but it also really sucks. I'm like, Ares, come on. Also, he's starting fights on Twitter. I think that's a hilarious choice.
Okay, what do we think he's fighting about? I'm just so curious.
Currently, I feel like he is egging on this like discourse that Taylor Swift's new album is racist.
Oh my
I feel
God.
like he's on both sides of all discourse. Like, I feel like...
Right.
Just stoking the fires.
Exactly.
Right. Absolutely. Because there are just some situations online where it's like, okay, how did this get as far as it did, if not just people fighting for the sake of fighting?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is where he would thrive.
I'm trying to figure out how he would factor into apologies. Notes app apologies.
He would enjoy canceling people for being problematic.
Maybe he wouldn't do notes app apologies.
I don't think Ares has ever apologized for anything in his life.
No. It's like you think they're bots, but actually they're Aries, is sort of also where my brain is going. Phoebe and I were also theorizing that, like, because he, like, immediately has that video of Gabe locked and loaded. He's, like, fighting about
Right.
Percy Jackson on Twitter, just being like, that kid sucks. Like,
But then, if he's on every side of the debate, he's also talking about how Percy Jackson is just a kid and should be, like, we need to find this kid and we need to protect him, or whatever.
yeah. I just feel like 4chan would be a very Aries place to be.
Oh God, yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
Is that still up?
He's also probably on
Yeah,
Reddit.
in the deepest bowels of Reddit somewhere.
Yeah. I think in general, Reddit can get very negative.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think Ares would be on Reddit as well. Honestly, he's probably just everywhere. Sowing discord and pitting people against each other.
That would be Eris, too. Goddess of Discord. The one with the apple.
They actually probably get on there together and reply to each other.
Maybe they each take a side.
Maybe.
No, I just really enjoy the image of Aries on Twitter being like, that Percy Jackson kid.
I love the idea of what is going on, like, the mortal internet, because surely Percy would get to, like, 7th grade or high school, and somebody would be like, hey, are you that kid from back in the day who, like, I don't even know what all he does.
I don't know. I feel like you have to go pretty viral for that to happen, you know? I don't think any of this is quite there.
No, that's true, because even things that you think are viral are kind of not. Like, things go viral in very niche spaces.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so other than Mr. D, this is the first god that these three have met. We as the audience have seen Hermes delivering the package, but this is only the second god that the kids are
Are
meeting.
you a Lin-Manuel Miranda anti-Julie?
Yes.
Well, get ready for episode 6, bestie.
It's so unnecessary. That casting was so unnecessary. Like, why? Why?
I can't wait to hear your
Oh
thoughts.
God.
I can comment, but I won't, because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
I think Adam Copeland did a great job as a god.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he makes a great Ares. And according to him, we're going to have a war no matter what. And it's very funny to me that he says that the way that the gods work is that they are willing to push anyone down a flight of stairs to get ahead. And I just think that's funny, the way that Percy, like, clocked that desire in Annabeth. Like, when he was picking her for the quest, he was like, she would push me down a flight of stairs if she needed to. And that's the kind of energy we need for the quest. Because there's this whole theme that, like, Annabeth is more a part of this godly world, and Percy is kind of more human throughout this episode. Just, I don't know, the way that they keep using the language of, like, pushing people down the stairs is It's comical.
I love the emphasis the show places on how they're all family.
Yes.
Like, really putting it into perspective of, like, my granddaddy. And you're like, okay, your granddaddy Crotus.
But then also, the more they do that, I feel like the weirder it makes Percy and Annabeth.
I don't know. I think the kids still feel pretty removed from it.
They do until you, like, think about it. And then you're like, ooh, wait a second. And, like, Percy in book 5 or whatever gives us his little, it's not technically incest spiel, but are we gonna get that in the show in a way that doesn't feel like we're, like, apologizing for low-key dating your cousins?
I don't know. I feel like I'm not really thinking about it. But, you know, maybe it'll come up organically.
I try not to think about it, but occasionally it does pop into my head.
Intrusive thought.
Maybe we'll eventually get, like, a canon relationship at camp, and Percy will be like, aren't they, like, cousins or something? And that'll be the moment.
Well, because the reason it comes up is because of Selena and Beckendorf.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you know, this came up a lot when, like, Selena and Beckendorf started dating. And then he's like, you know, I was thinking about that for some reason, as I stare at Annabeth, who's not technically my cousin. How is she actually related to him? Is she, like, his...
Annabeth?
She's like his grandniece or something, yeah, right?
Ew.
Let's see.
Because Athena would be Poseidon's niece.
They're actually pretty far removed because their
Right?
soonest relation is Kronos. Because
Okay.
Poseidon is Zeus's brother, and Athena is Zeus's
Right.
kid, and then Annabeth's Athena's kid. So they're like first cousins twice removed. No, they're first cousins once removed.
That feels too closely related.
It's the first cousin thing.
Yeah, the first cousin bit, you're like, ooh, that doesn't feel good.
Just the wording. It's too much.
I don't care how many times you've been removed. The first cousin's bit.
Yeah. Well, but also, like, but then it's like, well, are Athena's kids, like, really her kids, you know? Like, then there's that element. Like, they are, but they're not, like...
Okay, I did look it up, and Google says that your father's niece's kid would be your first cousin once removed, so you were right.
I know these things. I have a big family.
The removed bit is to show the change in, like, generation, which is interesting. Didn't know that. I definitely overcomplicated this because I should have gone from Percy and Athena are technically cousins. I should have been like, what is your cousin's kid? Instead of being like, your father's niece's kid to you.
No, because it's your first cousins if you share a grandparent, if your closest relation is a grandparent. Your second cousins if your closest relation is a great-grandparent. And your third cousins if your closest relation is a great-great-grandparent.
Interesting. Family trees. Okay, so... I guess now we should get to the meat of this episode. So, basically, the important part of this episode, Ares wants them to go get his shield, but wants Grover to stay behind with him to make sure they actually come back. And lore drop from Annabeth, she's never seen a movie. So, the important question is, what is the first movie you would show Annabeth?
It's a boring one, but The Wizard of Oz.
That's a good one.
Like, you gotta introduce someone to movies as a concept. I think you gotta go real classic.
Yeah, that's a good one. See, I was like, I feel like Annabeth would enjoy, like, is there a Greek version of Gladiator? Something like that she could look at and she could be like, no, here's all the inaccuracies, you know?
300.
Yeah, okay, I think Annabeth should see 300.
No.
Okay.
It's not a good... The thing about Gladiator is it's a good movie. 300 is not okay, maybe it's Troy. Troy is like a good movie. It's not a great adaptation of the Iliad.
Okay.
I mean, there's parts of it that are good, but parts of it that are not. And Annabeth would nitpick it.
Yeah.
I mean, then there's my personal favorite, which is the worst adaptation of Greek mythology I've ever seen, which is Immortals, that Henry Cavill movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh my god. That movie, I saw it in theaters, and I think I hated it more than the Sea of Monsters movie.
Oh, wow. Hot take.
Again, I need you to understand, so there's an actual line of dialogue in this movie that goes something like, we need to get the villagers to safety. Let's head to Mount Tartarus.
I hear Tartarus and I think safety. I also think mountain.
Safety and a mountain. It is the most insane movie. The thing is, like, you can tell the director was like, every shot in this is going to look like a Baroque, gorgeous painting. And it really does. But the rest of it's garbage. Like, it's so bad. Like, visually stunning,
But bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't show Annabeth bad movies, because then I think she wouldn't like movies.
No, you have to show her the good stuff. Yeah, I think Wizard of Oz. I think Annabeth would be into Inception.
Ooh,
I'm thinking like architecture.
what a film. I also think, the old animated Disney classic.
Oh, of course.
She seems like a girly who would like a nice found family. Like, I would love to show her Lilo and Stitch. I love Lilo and Stitch. Julie, what movie would you show her?
Oppenheimer.
Of course.
Just so I could watch it again.
I kind of feel like she would enjoy it.
It's a great movie.
Oh my gosh, take Annabeth to Barbenheimer. I feel like Percy would like Barbie, Annabeth would like Oppenheimer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then what's the first movie Percy would show Annabeth? I feel like he could go Wizard of Oz.
Well, this is also like, what are Percy's favorite movies, right? It's like maybe like a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I could see that.
He does seem like a Spider-Man guy.
Spider-Man movie. Yeah, he would definitely show her like a Marvel movie.
That feels right.
Maybe he'd start with like Iron Man.
He would make her watch the entire MCU.
Yeah. The one I think they should watch together on a date is Sky High, because that's just a great movie.
Oh my gosh.
Sky High's incredible.
High. Forgot about that one.
They should watch some of the classic, like, Disney Channel original movies. High School Musical.
Can you imagine if High School Musical was your first movie?
Cinema.
I mean, how do you top that? Where do you go
Sure.
from there?
Right, yeah.
That's the peak. I guess it's you do High School Musical and then you do High School Musical 2 and you're like, wow, film. I love High School Musical.
Rightfully so.
So then the little turnstile thing is so dramatic for no reason.
Annabeth's an engineer, though. She knows how those gears work.
And the fact that she can tell just by looking at it is impressive.
Indeed.
She's like, oh, it's not meant to hurt us. It's meant to scare us. Like, it's a test, whatever. Or it might have just been made for someone taller because the little thing, like, comes down and it, like, almost touches their heads, but then doesn't. But, like, an adult?
Oh my god, that's so funny. Honestly, real of her to, like, forget tall people exist, though. I do all the time.
I mean, she's been living at camp with a bunch of children,
Yeah.
So what is a tall
That's
person?
so funny.
Demigods don't live long enough to become tall.
No.
I do love that, like, Annabeth gets to be funny in this episode. Like, Grover gets to be cunning in this episode. Like, we get to see a different side of everybody.
Oh, it's great. Speaking of Grover being cunning, this is kind of the point that we cut back to Grover, who is now playing mind games with the God of War. I'm obsessed with this whole thing because it's like, what on earth is he doing? And then it, like, low-key works,
We talked to Daphne Olive, one of the writers, about this, and she was saying it's like him using empathy as his superpower.
Yeah, incredible.
Which I thought was such a good way to put it.
And, like, he plays Ares like a fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
Gaslight, Gatekeep, Goatboss.
Goatboss.
Is, like, starting with the, no, I'm a fan, and then pulling out the most deep-cut wars, which I did look up just shortly before we started recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 of them have to do with fishing. The third one doesn't. So the Turbot War was an international fishing dispute and bloodless conflict between Canada and Spain. Spain was backed by near Canada, and Canada was like, you can't do this. And also, they were doing some illegal fishing practices, the Spanish. And so eventually, like, a deal was reached, and the Spanish were forced to leave, and Canada, like, got the right to eject foreign fishing vessels from kind of their ocean. So, great. But, like, no one died. So then the Lobster War, also about fishing, and it was about Brazil and France. So France was wanting to fish and catch lobsters off the coast of Brazil, and Brazil was like, no, you can't do that because they're crawling on the land. They're not swimming. But the French were like, no, lobsters swim, so it counts as fishing. I don't know. This is like, I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
It sounds like the legalese really, I mean,
Right.
that's quite an argument. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah, it's like, okay, why are we arguing about, like, the fact that lobsters crawl, and so that means there are lobsters and you can't fish them. What? Also, the Turbot War happened in like the 90s. It was like 1995. The Lobster War happened in the 1960s. That one ended because the French were granted the right to fish for like 5 years off the coast of Brazil, and they're supposed to give Brazil some of their profits. And then the 335 Years' War. I was expecting another war about fish. This one was somehow even stupider. So this is a war that went on, quote unquote, went on from 1651 to 1986. Like 335 years is a long time, and you like hear that number and you're like, that's a long time. But somehow seeing like the 1600s to the 1980s is crazy. So this was between the Netherlands and the islands of Scilly, Scilly, and these are like off the coast of Britain. I don't know. And so basically there was like the English Civil War in 1642 to 1651. And so after this, some of the royalists like retreated to these islands, and so they were there and they were fighting with the Netherlands. But even though there was a peace treaty signed for like the mainland, there was never a peace treaty signed for like these islands. And so it was kind of like urban legend that they were like, we're still at war and we've been at war. And then they actually looked and they were like, yeah, peace treaty was never signed. So technically we have been at war this entire time. Also, no one died in this one because it wasn't really a real war. This was all like, they're all very kind of, it's kind of like diplomacy more than actual fighting. So honestly, they were all kind of lame, and I'm surprised that Ares was like impressed by him being interested in these wars, you know?
Well, I would argue that Twitter wars are lame too. I think it's just all war.
He loves the conflict.
I guess that's true. Conflict is conflict.
Yeah.
It would have been funny though to pick a third war about fishing, and then it's like Grover's just really into fishing conflicts.
He keeps up, you know?
Which, I mean, I guess would make sense why he was like drawn to Percy, because
No, I feel like, you know, someone comes up to you and you're like, maybe that wasn't my best work, but someone's like really a fan of it. You're like, I'm a genius. I guess I really did something with that, you know?
yeah.
So I think he's just playing to Ares' ego, where he's just like, even the stuff you don't think is good, I think is good. And Ares is like, you're so right. I'm amazing.
Also, if they're looking for another fishing war, as one of the like see also options on the lobster war, the cod wars was also an option. And so the cod wars were between the UK and Iceland in like late 1950s to the mid 1970s. It was about, you know, fishing rights in the North Atlantic. So naturally, I'm sure there are other fish wars. Like, I think we fought a lot of really dumb wars in history. So oh, there's also a scallop war?
Oh, that one sounds cool.
Oh, this was in 2012. This is recent. Oh, wait. Okay. There were scallop disputes in the English Channel in 2012, 2018, and 2020. So this is recent. Grover should have pulled out the scallop disputes.
Come on.
I feel like knowing about these also, maybe my dad's just really into obscure history, but these are also such dad facts to me.
Yeah.
I think I even like mentioned the Turbot War to my dad, and he was like, "The Turbot War, of course."
Yeah, this is something that like a dad would know. So anyway, these silly little wars are how Grover, you know, starts to get in with Ares, icon. And then we go back to Percy and Annabeth, who are now in this amusement park. Then we get to go to the Thrill Ride of Love. And if you think about it, this whole book series is simply their Thrill Ride of Love. And Annabeth says don't tell her not to be weird about this, but honestly, she takes it like a champ.
I love everything in this tunnel, in the cave.
It's incredible. And every time I hear What is Love now, I think of this episode. And the fact that Percy has apparently only heard this song at the orthodontist.
They don't know the classics.
I know. I'm just dying to know who was the one who first pitched this. Like,
they were like, what's a song that kids will think is really old, and that every adult watching this will feel really old when a kid thinks that this song is old?
I mean, I remember that Pepsi commercial. That's where I know it from.
When did the original, like,
Isn't
What
that
is
early
Love
90s?
come out? Oh,
Yeah.
93? Yeah, 93.
Sounds more 80s to me though.
What is
But
love? Baby, don't hurt me. Yeah, it kind of does. So it is, in fact, older than all of us. So maybe the song is old. And I know it's not really supposed to be, or maybe it is supposed to be, but Hephaestus setting up this whole ride to, like, lore drop his tragic backstory is kind of funny.
Iconic.
It's just like, one of the questions we were asking a lot was like, why did he make this?
Right. Who is this for?
Needed an outlet, okay? He's struggling.
I mean, clearly. Like, was he hoping that Ares and Aphrodite would come back for the shield?
I think so.
And so he was hoping that they would have to watch his tragic backstory, and then they would have to get the shield, and one of them would have to sit in the throne. And
I mean, we kind of have to assume that. Or, you know, maybe
Right.
some hero would come in and be forced to, like, contend with him.
and get to see in the thrill ride of love all the ways that Hephaestus has not been loved in his life. It's not very thrilling for us or for Hephaestus.
It's just kind of pathetic in like the truest sense of the word.
Yeah. If I was going to make a love ride and I was going to make it about myself, I would want to make myself look really good. And I would want to focus on, like, my
Yeah.
friends and all the people that I
Mhm.
actually love, you know? But I guess Hephaestus doesn't have that.
I mean, there's something in, like, I don't know, like, putting all of your pain into your art, though, that I get, where it's like,
Mm.
oh, let me
Mhm.
express my feelings in this way.
Well, that's true.
To kind of put it all down and be like, no, this is kind of, like, again, this is the kind of family that would, you know, push people down a flight of stairs, and
Right.
a guy like Ares is loving, that other people maybe wouldn't so much.
Right. And this is the kind of family that Sally was evidently trying to keep Percy from
Mhm.
by telling him all these stories and warning him about all of this before it was time for him to end up in this world. We kind of see Percy doubt his mom for the first time, because so far, every time he's talked about his mom, it's been all very positive. But he says for the first time in this episode, like, maybe she should have been preparing me better. But Annabeth says, you know, maybe she was, and maybe she was preparing you to be better by the time you got here to us. Like, you would be better than all of this. Which, I mean, there's probably something there, because Sally Jackson is the mother of all time and raised the son of all time.
It's kind of sad for Annabeth to, like, already kind of have figured that out, too. Just to be like, yeah, this is a messed up family, and I'm kind of trapped in it right now.
Yeah, she's very, like, I play the games because I know how to win, but then it's, like, becoming obvious to her that there is actually no way to win in this toxic situation.
Whew. I mean, last time she followed the rules, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
and look where that got us.
got her nowhere. Yeah. Do you have, like, a core memory of a time you followed the rules and got burned for it?
No.
It was in 5th grade, and we had, like, you have Dare in high school.
Oh, yeah. Don't do drugs.
I remember in my classroom, we had, like, table groups of 4, and he was like, he let you went up a table group at a time to try on those goggles that made you look like,
Right,
that make
yes.
you, like,
Feel like you're drunk, yeah.
yeah, to, like, do the like tests, the road tests on you and stuff. And the idea is, I think, to show how impaired you are.
Right.
But all the tables had gone except for, like, mine and a couple others. And everyone who'd already gone was, like, not paying attention and was being really rowdy. And he, like, warned us a bunch of times, guys, if you don't, like, settle down, I'm gonna just take the goggles. But the issue was, all of the people that were being rowdy had already gotten their turn, so there were no stakes.
Right.
And so my table was the last table, and he took the goggles away, so we got punished just like being good. And we were like, that I remember coming home and being, like, steamed.
Like, that's
I was
not
like,
fair.
are you kidding me? I wanted to win at the drunk goggles. I was gonna be so good.
And in a way, that's almost as bad as Annabeth's mom sending a monster after her in the arch.
In a way. But the first time I was like, what the F, guys? Like, life is not yeah, that was, maybe I'm privileged, but that was one of my, that one's a big
That's
one.
when you learned that life is not fair, and following the rules gets you nothing.
I was like, we were good. That was a bad rule. I really do like this moment for the two of them, though.
Yeah.
Like, getting to understand each other a little bit more. And, like, I think they each kind of have gotten a chance to respect where the other has come from.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put that. And the ride, low-key, looks kind of fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, also, really love that Percy's first water power situation is kicking Clarice's ass, and then his second is rescuing Annabeth from the water. Those feel like his two priorities. Like, Annabeth, hating Clarice. We got both. And then we see our statue and cut back to Grover. The way that he is active listening here is absolutely killing me. Because, like, as Ares is talking, he's nodding, he's, like, throwing in an eye roll where appropriate. And I'm just like...
Yeah.
He's trying so hard to show Ares that, like, I'm listening, I'm with you, I got it. And I think his move to try to get tea through the sibling rivalry is inspired. Because I feel like if you hit me just right with some nonsense about my brothers, I'd tell you anything.
Maybe not my brothers, but definitely, like, my rivals.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I do actually like my brothers, so maybe not, but there are some ways. So, like, part of the reason that I started running marathons is because my brother, so I had signed up for a half marathon, right? And told everyone about it, because that's what you do when you get into distance running. Like, you have to talk about it. And so I told everyone, like, I'm running this half marathon, like, I have this half marathon, I'm training for a half marathon. And then the weekend before, just to the family group chat, my brother sends a picture of him with his shiny new half marathon medal, because he had secretly trained for a half marathon to do it the weekend before me.
That's pretty crazy.
And since then, there has been this, like, fire of sibling rage in me. And so he was like, I'm going to run the Houston Marathon, which was in January of the next year. So I was like, fall marathons near me. And I found the Philadelphia Marathon that happens in November. And I was like, I'm going to do the Philadelphia Marathon. So I was like, I'm going to secretly train for the Philadelphia Marathon. But you can't really secretly train for a marathon, because I also really like to post things on Strava for the kudos, obviously. And so when you start posting like 16, 17, 18-mile runs, people are like, okay, you're running a marathon. So he caught on pretty quick, but by that point it was too late and I won. So I feel like if you went in with that angle, if you were like, so remember when your brother ran a half marathon before you, but how he's not as good at running as you? And I'd be like, thank you for noticing. Yes. And then you could get me to tell you anything. So I think Grover could clock that about me and would know. The other reason is also Lin-Manuel Miranda, as I've said before on this podcast.
That's diabolical of your brother.
No, I know. No, I know.
I don't think my siblings have done that to me. I'm like the oldest though, and I'm the sister. So I got
So am I.
So I think they just I don't know what they do. My brothers are like really, like, my brothers are definitely, of all of the like absolute disses that live rent free in my head, my brothers are responsible for most of them, but like it's not that they haven't like robbed me of anything.
No, this is a betrayal that will stick with me for the rest of my life, probably. And that's exactly what's happening with Ares here, cuz his owl rant is hilarious. And I think about him saying, we're so sure that she's a genius, and I, no owl, am not. Like, I think about that often, because that is so funny.
It's a hoot.
Very true. 10 out of 10 pun. And I love that he uses this to segue into being like, yeah, and that's why it's so crazy that, like, you're the one that found the lightning thief and not her, like, when she's supposed to be the genius. And then we get the most diabolical, like, shot from above their heads, which makes me giggle every time, because I'm just like, this is such a strange shot to me. I love it, but also I think it's funny. And Grover's little grin at the end, it's like, I love him. This is the episode that really sold me on show Grover, because he rocks.
I think Aryan is one of the funniest human beings on the planet.
Yeah, and he did a great job with Grover. These children, I'm so impressed with them.
They're so good.
Back to our throne and to Percy and Annabeth. Yet again, we are trying to sacrifice ourselves for each other. Same as at the Arch. I do think it serves a different purpose here, but also there's a part of me that's like, okay, we're doing this again? Really? But also it's like, I know that Percy's just like that, and he's gonna, like, throw himself on whatever sword is available to save Annabeth, but, like... It's also like, okay, we did this last episode. And then we get the first seaweed brain. She tells him this isn't the arch seaweed brain, and I love that it just comes up so naturally and isn't a big deal, and it just happens.
I don't know, Mal. It kind of seems like a big deal to you.
Yeah, no, to me it is a big deal. But, like, to them it's not. Like, he has no reaction to this. I actually do a little bit miss him having a problem with being called Seaweed Brain. Because in the book, he very much does not like this nickname. Mostly because he doesn't have a good one for her.
I think that's something that can grow, though, you know, where it can happen the first few times and you're like, okay. And then you kind of think about it a bit more and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
I don't like that, actually.
I just want it to be a little more antagonistic because a somewhat mean-spirited nickname that, like, then becomes fond, I eat it up.
It's true. But, you know, there's room.
Also, I look at this scene and I'm like, wow, he looks way older than he did at the start of this season. Which is like, I mean, you know, what happens when you have child actors. It's not a criticism, it just makes me laugh. And then this time he for real gives her Riptide in pin form. And then as he's turning to gold, the way that he's reassuring her the entire time, he's like, no, it's okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Ugh, I love them. And the way that she just lets the shield fall to the floor instead of, like, going to pick it up, like, she goes straight to the back of the chair to try to get Percy out instead of the shield that they came here for. Like, it's so good. It's so good. And then all of a sudden Hephaestus is here.
Yeah.
This is another god that I was not expecting really to get this season until he was cast. But I do like that he's here because, I mean, Emily, you weren't here for the last episode, but we had a whole discussion about how it feels very anti-god, like the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels too anti-god because we know that they're not going to be brave enough to allow us to overthrow Zeus at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess we don't know that, but we assume that that's probably what's going to happen. But at this point, there have been, like, no redeeming qualities for the gods, like, pretty much at all. So the fact that we have, like, you know, Percy's dad save him, but then we also have Hephaestus, who is willing to listen to Annabeth and kind of change his mind and show that he also doesn't want to be a part of this nonsense that the gods have going on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's an important interaction to have.
Yeah, I think it creates a bit more dimension, too, in a different and interesting way, like story-wise. First of all, it allows them to separate Poseidon from the pack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that I think creates interesting moments between all the different characters that kind of bring out the differences in all of their attitudes. It's also interesting too because, you know, to skip to where what we all know the end is going to be, like, you really need to give Percy a reason to say no to Luke.
Right.
And I think the only way that's going to be resonant is if he fully buys in to the world.
Right.
Which is the thing that Luke is against.
Very true.
And in order to have a dynamic arc on that, Percy can't be pro Poseidon from the jump. Like, from a writing perspective, it makes that moment he chooses, like, the world he's in over what Luke is offering, which he would have chosen at the beginning, much stronger.
Yeah.
Books, you can meander a lot more, and there's a lot more nuance you can get away with in terms of the, like, beats of the story. But television, theater, movies, there's still a lot of nuance, but it doesn't necessarily come from the story beats.
That's very true. We don't get a lot of Percy's internal thoughts in a TV show the way we do in a book. And so we get to see him, like, agonize more about his, like, feelings about his dad and all these things.
If I'm writing a book, I can have my character go back and forth all the time as new information comes up, because what else are they going to do while we're in their head? But
right. My other big question is, how does this affect Battle of the Labyrinth? Because that's where we first meet Hephaestus in the book. So I would assume, I mean, I guess we can't make that many assumptions about season 3 since they just started filming, but I would venture a guess that we probably will not see Hephaestus until that point once again, like in Battle of the Labyrinth, when they find him in the labyrinth and, you know, go to check out his forge, and then he visits Percy on Calypso's island. And so I wonder if the fact that we've already met him will affect that. Because I almost feel like it makes more sense for Hephaestus to be more involved with them, like if he already knows them, you know, like he remembers, oh, they're the ones from the amusement park, oh, they're the ones who like had this talk about like not wanting to put so much stake in like glory and power and all these things, and you know, wanting to be different. Like, I don't know, it feels like it makes sense to have a Hephaestus that's got sort of a soft spot for them, to me.
Yeah. It's also kind of interesting because I think technically Percy does not meet Hephaestus.
Oh, also true.
It's just Annabeth.
Annabeth meets Hephaestus. I mean, I think Hephaestus does address both of them, I think, at the end when Percy's back.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't get a lot of FaceTime, though. Like, Annabeth's the real...
Yes. So I feel like it would be more Hephaestus sees, like, Annabeth. Because, like, in Battle of the Labyrinth, Percy, Annabeth, Grover, and Tyson all go to Hephaestus's workshop or forge or wherever he is when they meet up with him. And then they end up splitting. So Grover and Tyson go look for Pan. And then I'm like explaining this to you as if you haven't read the book, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
No, I was sitting here like, I actually don't remember the order precisely of when this all goes
great.
down in Battle of the Labyrinth. I was like, wait, when does that happen? Is that pre or post Calypso?
Yeah. So it's...
No, it's pre-Calypso.
So they split up. Yeah, they split up on their way to the forge under Mount St. Helens. So just Annabeth and Percy make it to that forge. And then Percy causes the explosion and he ends up with Calypso. And then when Hephaestus meets up with Percy at Calypso's island, he says that Annabeth found her way back to him and was very worried about what happened to Percy. So I think you could potentially get another great Annabeth Hephaestus scene in that moment in season 4. This is me asking for more Annabeth angst.
Yeah. I mean, going off the trend of season 1, it seems like they do like bringing the gods in when they can.
Yes.
And going off of, like, the fact that we know Athena's in season 2. Like...
Right. Yeah. And I do enjoy getting to see more of the gods. And I can't wait for Athena to try to redeem herself to me after what she did to my girl. Are you kidding me? So, yeah. After Percy is back from his Golden Throne adventure, they take the shield, go back to the diner, meet back up with Ares, and he directs them to the Kindness International Zoo truck. And so he gives them slightly different instructions. He specifically tells them to go to the Lotus Casino, which is different, and tells them that they should find Hermes and get Hermes' personal driver to take them to LA, which in the book, I'm pretty sure that the Kindness Zoo transport was supposed to take them all the way to LA, but they felt so bad for the animals that they freed them at like a stop in Vegas. But there's no mention of Hermes in the book. We don't see Hermes at all until book 2. But Hermes is going to be in the Lotus Casino. Sorry to Julie.
God.
You're going to have to see Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Trigger warning.
I also think it's interesting the way he gives them drachmas to summon Hermes. Has this ever been a thing? Like, using drachmas to summon a god?
I mean, Iris.
I mean, yeah, sending an Iris message, but that's...
Does he give it to them, like, specifically for Hermes?
He says drachmas to summon Hermes. He lists that out. And I was like, to summon Hermes?
Maybe Hermes doesn't come out unless you spend money.
I mean, probably. I wouldn't if I was him. I also think it's incredibly funny watching teeny tiny Percy square up with very tall Ares to be like, you think you know who I am, but you better be careful or you're gonna find out. Because he looks so small and so cute as he's doing it. I'm just kind of like, aw.
It does, like, hit a bit different to see, you know, these characters. Like, I remember, like, watching, like, Luke and Percy, I was like, oh, right. Because in my head, when I first read them, like, my frame of reference for people older than me was, like, 2 years. So in my head, like, Luke was, like, 2 years older than Percy. Because I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But then, like, rereading the books as an adult, you're like, oh, right. He's, like, way older. And then, like, seeing it in front of your eyeballs, you're just like, right.
You're like, oh, yes, that's what a 12-year-old is.
Right. And just, like... So, like, having that, like, difference, because, like, in the book, I feel like Percy is like, yeah, he's a god, he's intimidating, but I could take him. It's sort of, like, what's going on in his head.
Right. And so you're not thinking about what a 12-year-old actually looks like. Also because there's this trend in media in which children are not played by children.
I'm picturing Logan Lerman.
Right. You're like, oh, okay, Logan Lerman fighting Ares. Sure. Because Logan Lerman was, I don't even know how old
He
he
was
was
like
in
20.
the first.
He was like in his 20s, I think. Like,
Okay, yeah. He also, I mean, doesn't fight Ares, he fights Luke at
Yeah.
the end, but like, you know, same difference. So it is very different to see this like tiny little peanut threatening Ares. It's like if I was Ares, I would probably laugh if a child was like, "You're gonna find out who I am." Like I'd be like, "Okay, little buddy, nap time." And so once they get in the zoo truck, after they talk about how much it smells and whatnot, Grover announces that he got something out of Ares, and the thing that he thinks he got out of Ares is who stole the Master Bolt. So that's like the final line of the episode. I know who stole the Master Bolt. And then all of a sudden the episode ends. So, Julie, do you think he knows who stole the Master Bolt?
No.
Great. Do you have a guess as to who he thinks stole the Master Bolt?
I don't know. I just don't think he's figured it out yet. It feels too, how many episodes are in this season?
8.
I don't know. It still feels too soon for him to figure it all out.
Sure does. So he's not gonna roll up next episode and be like, "It's Luke."
Find it very hard to believe.
I suppose we'll find out. Great. Any final thoughts?
I'm dreading watching Lin-Manuel Miranda next week, I have to be honest.
I think he does a good job. I liked his performance a lot.
I also think he does a good job. I don't hate him as Hermes.
I just don't like him as anything.
I'm interested to know your specific thoughts when we get there
God.
next week. All right. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, you've been here before, but do you want to tell the people where to find you, your podcast, your work?
Yeah. Well, if you want to hear me yap about Percy Jackson, you should check out Monster Donut. We are wherever your podcasts are sold, and we do a lot of deep analysis of all the Percy Jackson media. We're about to start the Kane Chronicles. I swear.
Someday.
We've recorded the episodes. They're coming out soon, as of recording this. You can find us there. You can find us on social media at PJO Pod, pretty much wherever. So come check us out. My co-host has a lot of great art. Yeah, I mean it's a big season for Monster Donut coming up, season 2, hopefully. So
yeah,
it's our inception
into the sea.
The
of
introduction
monsters.
of Monster Donut to the franchise.
So true. Oh my gosh, what if they don't include Monster Donut in season 2?
I think that would be a crime, actually.
All right. Well, we'll be back next time with episode 6 and some, I assume, Lin-Manuel Miranda hate from the movie.
Of course.
See you next week.
Hi, thanks for listening. As always, you can find us on whatever social media platform you prefer at DemigodDebutPod, or feel free to send us an email to demigoddebut@gmail.com. If you like this podcast, please leave us a rating or review wherever it is you are listening. We'll see you next time. Bye!